Alright, this is Chapter 2 in Escape from Aleppo. October 9th, 2013, 5:30 a.m. "Come on, everyone," shouted Kala Fatima, exiting her apartment, dressed head to toe in a dreary gray as Nadia had predicted. "You girls okay?" she asked. As Roseanne nodded, Nana floated out next, a sprightly figure in black. Tucked beneath a forest-green scarf, her grandmother's once rich brown hair had gone white practically overnight, when Nadia's grandfather, Gito, had died of a stroke and her sons had left for war. With a calm smile on her elegant features, she gave Nadia an encouraging smile and led the little kids, who marched in practiced military precision, towards the stairs. One of them started sobbing. Now, my heart, don't cry." Nana's soothing voice drifted up from the stairwell. "We're going on an adventure, you'll see. Soon we'll be somewhere safe. And maybe we'll find some chocolate. What do you think about that?" Safe. What does that mean? Or what does that feel like? Nadia thought, her heart racing as she stood at the landing, clutching the banister till her knuckles shone white. Chocolate. She remembered her birthday cake, her taste buds recalling that creamy, sweet goodness. Roseanne turned to Nadia. "Come on," she said encouragingly. "You can do this. We've practiced it over 100 times. With a gulp, she followed her cousin down the marble steps and caught the comforting whiff of her grandmother's soap, a calming, earthy fragrance of laurel oil. Carolina came into view, standing in front of her apartment with her twin boys, dressed in threadbare woolen pants, button-down shirts, and 2 small cardigans their father had purchased on a trip to London long ago. Carolina always insisted that they look their best, even in the midst of a war. Silk scarf tied in place over her hair, lips marked with a touch of pink lipstick. She looked as if she were on her way to work at the hospital to deliver a set of triplets. But regardless of how much she irritated Nadia, especially after she'd blamed Nadia for her own injury, like I wanted to get hit by a bomb, it was Carolina who'd saved her leg by removing most of the shrapnel, except for that one piece, and given her painkillers to control the pain. "Has everyone come down?" Nadia asked Carolina. "Kala Amani is behind us," replied Roseanne as they continued down. Nana kept an eye on the kids in the lobby while Roseanne's mother, Kala Shakira, stood apart, staring out the front door into darkness. Even with all the chaos surrounding them, her soft golden eyes seemed vacant. They'd been that way since the day Roseanne's father had disappeared, taken away by the Mukbarit, the government's secret police. Just thinking of the shadowy figures in their black leather jackets sent a shiver of fear through Nadia. Every day, her and her aunt sat at the window, expecting him to come home. "Mama, stop," cried Roseanne, running towards her mother, who'd pulled open the front door as if to walk out. Nadia stood, separate from the kids, hidden within the shadows of the staircase, and eavesdropped on her other aunts. "What do we do?" whispered Kala Fatima to Carolina, checking the blank screen of her mobile phone with a frown. "We can't get a hold of the men. The phones still aren't working. Neither is the internet, so I can't send an email either." She shoved it back into her purse, her face now as gray as her dress. "We stick to the original plan," said Carolina, with authority. "We're going to meet them at the dental clinic at noon. Now we just need to get there a few hours early." Nadia remembered the night her father and uncles had made a rare appearance at home. A few weeks back, huddled over a meager meal, they'd shared the news that the war was not going well. The Syrian army had recaptured Kenisir, the city on the main road into Aleppo, or Haleb as it was known to locals. The rumor on the street was that a major siege was coming. Though it broke their hearts, they decided that the family had to leave, before the next wave of death and destruction battered the city. "Where are the men?" thought Nadia, hand trembling as she unconsciously patted the cat. "I hope they're all right." Her mind raced, praying her father, older brothers, and uncles were on their way to the dental clinic. A circle of bright light shone from atop the staircase, distracting her. It was followed by Malik's feet. He careened down the steps and stood panting at the bottom. "It's coming this way. We have to go now." Nadia's aunts stood frozen, staring at each other until Carolina flew into action. She ran up the stairs, shouting, "Amani, where are you? We have to go." "What's taking Mama so long?" Nadia fumed. "Yusuf and his stupid shoes." The kids screamed as an explosion reverberated from up the street, and they started bawling in earnest. Nadia did the mental math. The helicopters were in the street parallel to theirs, a quarter mile away. Malik wiped a sheen of sweat from his forehead as silence descended over the lobby. Kala Fatima had just opened her mouth when they heard her mother call out, "We're coming." Footsteps rang out against the stairs as her mother descended, shouldering a bulky bag and carrying Yusuf wearing his 2 tight red shoes. Obviously they hadn't found the other pair. Anxiety bubbled through Nadia, coupled with anger, an emotion that seemed to accompany her everywhere these days, especially when things didn't go her way. And in the last few years, it seemed that everything that could go wrong had. Even though she tried to push the awful feelings away, she couldn't help but hate everything. Her stupid little brother, the fact that they had little to eat, the loss of her previous life, the stupid war, everything. "We should avoid the front door and use the back," said Malik, leading the way. "But we're supposed to use the front door," thought Nadia. Legs tense. That's the plan. That's what we practiced. Her anxiety worsened. She trailed behind the others that had hurried through the hall that ended in the back door. Having passed through the doorway, the group descended a series of steps. Nadia watched everyone run across the carport, past the dusty old Jeep parked parallel to the steps. The men had taken the truck, and Gito's gleaming sedan had been stolen long ago, without repairs or gasoline. The Jeep and 2 other cars sat useless. Even if they had been operational, it was too dangerous to maneuver through the city, avoiding helicopters, militias, and checkpoints. "Outside, I have to get outside," thought Nadia, finally registering that she was alone. "Where's Roseanne?" Panic blossomed in her chest as she glimpsed her cousin with her mother. Nadia inched towards the back door, legs trembling. Chill autumn air caressed her hot cheeks as her fingers reached to grip the doorframe. She pulled herself through the opening and paused to catch her breath, nearly there. Malik's flashlight bobbed in the distance, illuminating a path through the cars. Nadia's aunts herded the little ones between them, urging them to be silent as they gathered at the back gate. Roseanne stumbled to a stop, and then looked around. "Wait," she cried out, "where's Nadia?" An arc of light bounced back towards the apartment building, careening from the rusty old Jeep. Nadia, who raised her hand to shield her eyes, the whir of the helicopter's blades sounded in the distance, signaling its approach. "Why is she just standing there?" said Carolina's irritated voice. "Does she want to kill herself, kill us all?" "Nadia, you need to hurry," pleaded her mother. "Sweetheart, don't be afraid," added Nana. "Come down. I know you can do it." "I'll get her," said Roseanne, about to run back. Malik grabbed her arm. "No, let me," he said. "Not that fool, Malik," thought Nadia, embarrassed. With a grunt, she heaved forward just as the wind above them shifted. The helicopter, she realized in horror, was looming just beyond their apartment building. Nadia stalled, a memory flashing back of another helicopter, another bomb. "Please go," cried Malik, waving the rest of the family huddled at the back gate. "I'll get Nadia and meet you at the corner near Shawarma King restaurant." But the woman stood at the back gate, indecision flooding their faces. Nadia stared as Malik raced towards her, but before he was halfway to the Jeep, a shuddering thud hit their building. A deafening roar reverberated through the air as the right corner of the roof shattered and came tumbling down. The force of the explosion sent Nadia tumbling down the steps. Her forehead slammed against the Jeep's bumper that lay there, ears ringing, blinded by the cloud of dust. "Nadia!" cried Malik as the plume of gray powder filled the air. "Where is she?" shouted her mother. "I don't see her." "Malik!" she heard Roseanne scream. "Find her." "Nadia, where are you?" cried Malik, his voice muffled as the left wall of the apartment complex crumbled in an avalanche of dust and debris. "Ya Allah," cried Nana, her voice echoing. "She's not here," shouted Malik, coughing. "All I see is rubble." "She was hit? Was she hit?" shouted one of the aunts. She's under the rubble," shouted Malik. "Is she alive?" someone shouted. "I don't know," cried Malik. "The helicopter is still circling back," screamed Khala Fatima. "I'm here," thought Nadia, lying at the bottom of the last step, stuck between the curb and the side of the Jeep. But as she tried to rise, she saw a metal canister fall from the sky and hit the neighbor's apartment complex as if in slow motion. She watched it explode, engulfing the top floor in flames. Fiery debris rained onto the carport, accompanied by a horrified scream. A hot scrap of metal landed on Nadia's arm, forcing her from her stupor. "Move," screamed a voice in her head. Smoke and ash surrounded her. Instinctively, she crawled under the Jeep, escaping the growing heat from the flames. "They're pushing out another bomb," cried Carolina. "We have to go." "She can't be dead," came her mother's anguished wail. "We can't leave her," sobbed Roseanne. "If we stay, we're all gonna die," shouted Carolina. Nana's strong voice rose above the rest. "I don't believe it. She's alive. Find her." "No, don't leave me," thought Nadia, her head throbbing as she drifted in and out of consciousness, staring at the flickering flames.